Hello everyone, welcome to the Ichimoku.co and Forex Trading TV daily FX market review for the trading day ending Wednesday, November 26th. Firstly to the Euro US dollar, and here we see the market continuing in the first time frame uptrend that began for the previous day's trading. Another white body candle, so some continued upside momentum, but a trading day where we've seen some price rejection from the highs, with the buyers still closing with control, but very weak control of this market. The important thing here, however, is that the sellers have failed to take control, and this continuation of the uptrend has occurred on an indecisive spinning top type candle. So that does suggest that there is a possibility of a change of trend to the downside. Now the sellers are going to have to be quite strong to change that trend, because we have Tenkan-sen support just below where this new session has opened at the Tenkan-sen is trading at 124.78. And then we also have the 124.55 level of support where the market found support today, just below where the new session is opened as well. So the sellers are going to have to be quite strong, and that certainly could occur with the market being bearish in the longer term and medium term timeframes by trading below the Ichimoku cloud and the Kijun-sen. Now we haven't seen any strong follow-through following the breakout below this rectangle type pattern, and it's not unusual for a market to come back and test back to the barrier that it broke out from, but we've actually traded through that barrier. So any trades put on with this breakout would be up above the highest high in the pattern here, so they're still safe, and they're certainly above the Kijun-sen indicator and well protected. Now if this market does continue to rally, we'll be looking to very strong resistance at the Kijun-sen here at 125.63, but still watching the Tenkan-sen support and the support at 124.55 very closely. Now just looking at the Fibonacci extension tool with the Euro US dollar, and here we've seen the market testing through the 61.8% level today, and importantly closing above the Tenkan-sen indicator, giving us a bullish market in the fast term time frame. If the market does continue to rally, we're likely to see very strong resistance at the Kijun-sen indicator, because it coincides with the 100% level on the Fibonacci projection or Fibonacci extension tool. So what we'll be looking for if the market does test to that level will be price rejection from that area or just above it. Next to the bands with the Euro US dollar, and here we see the market continuing to trade between the bands, suggesting a very neutral market at the moment. We have the squeeze going on, so it means that we have to now be prepared for the breakout. We're likely to see some strong trending action. We don't know when. This squeeze could go on for a long time, but our clue will be either a bullish or a bearish breakout above the upper or lower bands, and then the strong follow through. Now for today's trading, the upper band has held as resistance, and it certainly may do for the new trading session. It trades at 125.28 at the moment, and watching the middle of the bands, 124.79 for support, and then also the lower band if we do trade down there at 124.29. Next to the US dollar, Japanese yen, and here we're starting to see some selling coming into this market. The candle we're analysing here is the second last on the chart, a small black body candle, but a candle that's changed the trend, but the sellers have failed to take control. The market's closed just up above the midpoint level, and it certainly doesn't give us any confidence in a decent retracement here. Now this really does say something about the strength of the buyers in the US dollar Japanese yen, that they haven't been able to retrace this very strong first and second time frame uptrend that the market's been in for quite some time to any substantial degree. Now if the market does continue to come off, watching the Tenkan-sen 117.20 is very important support, and if we do see a bearish close down below there, it certainly could herald a very significant change in sentiment, but we're not seeing that at the moment. We're not testing quite to there yet. There is a possibility of the market trading to there, but with the sellers losing control on today's candle, I even have some doubt about whether we will be able to reach the Tenkan-sen today. Now we may find a barrier here for the buyers for today's trading, this new session at 117.94, as we saw with the trading day that has completed. So that will be an important area there, and if we see a bullish close up above there, we could quickly see the US dollar Japanese yen trading up to the 118.90 level. Now moving next to the bands with the US dollar Japanese yen, and this gives us a slightly different perspective on what's been occurring for today's trading. Even though we haven't seen a bearish close for today's trading, we have actually seen the market close within the bands, and it does suggest that we've seen an end to this very strong bullish bias that we've seen in this market for quite some time, and it suggests the possibility of the market trading to lower levels. So we will be watching the low of the current candle for it to be taken out and for the market to continue the lower high and lower low that began with today's trading. Watching also the upper band at 117.76 to act as resistance, and that's what we're seeing at the moment. So there is an opportunity here for the sellers, even though we haven't seen any strength in the short-term dynamics with them failing to take control, but the opportunity is there, and it certainly wouldn't be before time that we do see the sellers come into this market. Next to the US dollar Swiss franc, and here we see another black body candle, the third in a row, so momentum is with the sellers to the downside, and the sellers have closed with control, not strong control. They've closed between the midpoint level and the low, so a moderate form of control, but still importantly the buyers haven't shown any strength at the moment. We do have a downtrend in place in the first time frame at lower high, lower low. We have a bullish market in the longer term and medium term time frames by trading above the cloud and the Kijun-sen, and just bearish now in the short term time frame by trading below the Tenkan-sen. The market today found support at the Tenkan-sen, trading at 95.90, and is an area we should be watching tomorrow for very solid support, and strong support at 95.67 just below there. There is an opportunity here for the buyers to bounce off this Kijun-sen support, but they will need to be strong enough to breach the Tenkan-sen trading at 96.31. If they are able to breach that area, we do have strong resistance at 96.74. And then just looking at the bands with the US dollar Swiss franc, and here we see something of a squeeze going on. The market testing down to the lower band today, very close to it, and finding some support coming in around that area. For the previous day's trading, price action rejected from above the upper band, so quite a neutral market. The market may be positioning for a change of trend, perhaps to the downside, but we don't know until we see that breakout. We certainly could see the buyers come back into this market and trade through that upper band. But today what we should be doing is watching the lower band at 95.94 to act as strong support. Next to the Aussie dollar, US dollar, and here we see a continuation of the trend to the downside today, but a change in sentiment in this candle. Whereas for the previous day's trading we had the sellers in control, very strong control, today we've seen the buyers take back control by closing up towards the high, and it does suggest a very real possibility of a change of trend to the upside. A white body candle as well, and this has formed a bullish harami type pattern, so we have the downtrend in place, black body, small white body today within the body of the previous, and looking for confirmation with a higher high and a higher low. We also have a fairly large shadow on the bottom of this candle, and it does also suggest something of a small hammer type pattern, not quite perfect, but the sentiment is there, and it does suggest potential for a change of trend. So once again, confirmation required. Now today the market tested below the 85 level of support, and that has been an important number in the past, and we have seen the market testing below there, being strongly rejected from there with the buyers taking control, so suggesting that there is that good possibility of a change of trend, but the buyers will need to be strong enough to breach the 85.76 level of previous support in the recent past here. Now if the buyers can take out that area, they are certainly likely to find very strong resistance just above that 85.76 level at the Tenkan-sen at 86.36, and then also at the 86.41 area. And now just looking at the Fibonacci projection or Fibonacci extension technique, and we're examining the relationship of this current first time frame downtrend that the market's in to the previous time the market was trending down, and here we see the market testing to the 100% level and being strongly rejected from there with the buyers taking control, and it does suggest that the market is set up for a change of trend, but always confirmation required. And looking at the bands here, and we see continued activity outside of the lower band. We saw the bearish breakout once again for the previous day's trading. We haven't seen strong follow through, and it does raise doubt about whether the strong bearish bias will be able to continue. With the strong possibility of a change of trend, we'll be looking very closely at the lower band at 85.78 to act as strong resistance to this market. And if it fails to act as resistance and the market trades back within the bands and closes within there, then it will suggest a possibility of the market eventually trading back up to the middle of the bands at 86.52.